a trick for getting the easiest fishtail braid ever, because I think of doing a fishtail braid is super awesome to know how to do because there's so many variations you can do, but sometimes it's a little bit tricky. So this tutorial is going to be super beginner friendly, and then I'm going to show you a couple things you can do to spice it up. So we're going to go ahead and get started. You want to move your hair all onto one side, and then you want to brush it out before you get started, because if your hair is going to tangle a little bit easy, it's going to make it harder. So the trick I like to tell people to do when they're first learning to do a fishtail is to use a small clear rubber band and do a ponytail first, and then at the end we're going to cut it out. So we're going to go ahead and gather all of our hair together, and I like to leave out side pieces. And what we're going to do with the ponytail is we're going to kind of do it forward a little bit. So instead of doing like a low ponytail back here, I think it looks better if we bring it forward just a little bit. And then we're going to put the rubber band in, and you don't need to wrap it more than once unless your hair is really thin. And just open it up and scoot it up there nice and high. So the reason we do that is because the only thing really that's hard with a fishtail braid is actually probably like the easiest of like the complicated French braids and stuff like that, is that people like have a hard time holding all of the hair and crossing the pieces over. So if you put it in a ponytail, it's doing half the work for you. So I'm going to show you the easy way. So we're going to divide it into two sections. And the awesome thing about the fishtail is that you're only working with two sections. You don't have three like a normal braid. You don't have four or however many like with all the Dutch braids and French braids. So it's literally just two pieces. And all we're going to be doing is taking the very outside piece from one side of the braid and crossing it over and meeting it to the other one. So we're just going to do that all the way down. Okay. So the easiest way to do it, you can do it and always be holding both pieces in your hand, but what I feel is easiest for people when you start is just to make sure you have a good grasp on one side, and then you can take your hand and use your free hand to just grab the little piece. And you want to do these pieces fairly small, usually about this big. If you take too big of sections, it's just going to look like a normal braid. And then you're going to meet it over to the inside of the other one. And once you do that, you're going to take your other hand and grab that section up nice and high, and then you can let that go. So same thing. So when you grab a section, you're doing it from the very outside, and then you're bringing it in to the inside of the other one. See? Super, super easy. And we're just going to keep doing that. And every time I let go, I'm going to go a little bit faster, and then I'll slow down in a second for you guys. Every time I do it, like I let go of the piece, I kind of comb through the hair a little bit because you don't want it to get tangled. And we're live, guys, so if you have questions, you can ask them in the chat. Okay, so same thing. Make sure you're taking small sections, probably like the size of a pencil or a pen, like the diameter of that, and bring it over to the middle. And you want to tighten it as you go, like pull it tight. And then we're going to pull it out and make it wide later. Just keep doing that as you go down. So after we're done, I like the braid to look like a little bit textured. Like I'm doing it tight right now and it's very smooth looking. But at the end I want to pull it apart a little bit and make it look textured. If you've seen other braids I've done in other tutorials, you'll know that I like texture. I like the braid to look thick, especially if you have like naturally fine hair or thinner hair. Usually when you want to do a braid, you want it to look like all the pictures you see on Pinterest where the girls have like really thick mermaid hair. So I'm going to show you guys a trick if you have thin hair or fine hair, how to make it look really thick. So when I did if you guys watched one of my other hair tutorials, I did a mermaid braid, and that one's super pretty and it's really, really easy too. I'll link that below. But I used this Way texturizing spray, and before I moved the pieces like to meet each other, I sprayed them with texture spray. But with this, you want to do your texture spray after, and I'm going to use a different one. I'll show you guys. Because if you have any product in your hair and you're doing the fishtail braid, your hair gets tangled. It's a lot harder to do. So we're going to use something else. Okay, so as you guys can see, same thing. two separate pieces, and you can see how it's like taking the form of the fishtail. And I'm doing probably like medium small pieces, so you can see like the size of the pieces. When you see those really, really intricate fishtail braids that just look like really detailed, like really small, all they're doing is taking smaller pieces. Like if you guys want to take a longer time on your braid and use pieces like a fourth of the size, like do you see how small that is? The braid will look a little more complex. But I didn't want this tutorial to be too long for you guys. You could also take bigger pieces if you wanted, but like I said, it looks so much like a normal braid like that it's kind of like, what's the point? So this, I just think it's so important for people to know how to fishtail because you can do so much with it. Like it's actually really easy and it's just really pretty. Like it's one of those things where it's like, it's so easy to do and it's pretty fast. I'm trying not to go too fast so you guys can see. But it looks complicated. Like when your hair's dirty, like a couple days not clean, and you want to throw it up, if you do a fishtail or a variation of a fishtail, it looks a little fancier than just like a normal braid. I really love like half up fishtails. Like if you put your hair in like a half up ponytail and do a fishtail, that is like super pretty. I think it's really cute if you do two, like when people do two braids but they do two fishtails. It's really, really cute on little girls. Like you can do it with short hair, especially if you use the rubber band method. And remember, like I said, we're gonna cut it out. It's easier on short hair because the problem with short hair or hair that has a lot of layers, it's hard to control. So if you do the rubber band first, it's gonna be a lot easier. And you can go down, sometimes it's actually really cute if you stop your braid like halfway down and put a rubber band in, but I'm just gonna show you all the way down. Oh, hey Megan. Welcome to the live chat. We have some people showing up. So the live chat, guys, is only there when the video is actually live. When it uploads to YouTube, the chat's not there anymore. So if you guys join me live, I go live every weeknight at 7:30, except for Fridays. Everyone's out on Fridays. No one watches live. Megan says she likes the color of my lipstick. Thank you. I love the Anastasia Beverly Hills, like the palette that comes with all the lip colors and you can mix them. So I mixed like all the pinks tonight. Okay, we're almost done. We're getting to the bottom. And I put in, so my own hair is like actually pretty long, but with braids, I just think they're pretty if it's like mermaid hair and it's super long. So I put in 2 rows of extensions, actually just the small ones, and I put them in really low so that the hair is like really long. If you have extensions, you can totally do that. And the good thing about braids is like you don't have to style your extension piece. You can just throw it in. If it's curly, awesome, throw it in. If it's straight, awesome, throw it in. Okay, we're just finishing it, and then I'm gonna show you guys the product secret and how to cut out the rubber band. Okay, we're gonna end it there. So I'm gonna use, I'll link these rubber bands for you guys. I really like them. They don't break the hair and they're clear. Unless, if you have black hair, like dark hair, I'll link some black ones for you. But if you have blonde or brown, I like these. Okay, now's the time. We're gonna cut this out. And because I didn't do it twice, it's really easy. You take your scissors, bonus points if they're pink like mine. Okay, and we're gonna cut it out. So that way we have no line. If you wanna leave it in, you can take a little piece and wrap the hair around it and it's cute, but I didn't wanna do that tonight. Okay, so now we have like a really tight fishtail braid, which is pretty. And if you're doing this on like a child, like a little girl, and you know they're gonna play on the playground and stuff like that, you can leave it tight, it'll stay in better. But I'm gonna loosen it up. So what you're gonna do is just grab random pieces on the side and just lightly pull. So you're not gonna pull too hard because you don't want the braid to come apart. We're just like taking the edges. So this is really good if you have thin hair. I'm gonna show you guys the product trick. Okay, So this is called Puff Me, and it's a hair texturizing spray. It's like a powder, and it dissolves and turns clear in your hair, but it makes it really, really gritty, and it is so awesome if you have fine or thin hair and you want to pull it apart. I'm going to show this camera. And this is my favorite. They just came out with this, and it has a pump. Most of them you had to dump, but I'm going to show the camera. I don't know if you can see. So it just like, it's like a white cloud, like it puffs out. So you literally just puff it on your hair, and if you have a ton of layers or your hair is very fine, you can do a lot. You can puff it on your hair and then you tap it in until it disappears, and then it's going to add so much grit that when you pull the hair apart, it's going to stay pulled apart, and it gives it grit so it doesn't slide out. Like if you have fine hair, you know what I'm talking about. Like you pull apart your braid, it's like messy and perfect and beautiful, and then 10 minutes later, like it's falling out. Like if you put the grit in, it's better than hairspray. Like it is not going to come out. Awesome. Okay, so this is like a really, really simple, easy braid. It's all done. So this is like basic. This is basic how to do it. You can do, like I said, half up, different variations. Usually what I like to do if I'm doing a fishtail braid, I want it to look a little bit more complicated, like up top. So what I'll do instead of putting in the rubber band is I'll start like either like a French braid with like this much of my, or a fishtail braid with like this much of my hair, or I'll do a French braid, or you can take just this strand and braid it. And if you still have a problem fishtailing, you can do your braid, then do the ponytail, then do the French, and then cut it out. Or like once you've done it a couple times, your hands kind of get used to holding your hair and you don't need the rubber band, but it seriously helps a ton, like if it's your first time doing it. So that's some that's some tips and tricks for you guys on how to do a fishtail. If you guys want to see an awesome, like super complicated fishtail style that incorporates it, let me know in the comments and I can film that for you too. But I wanted you guys to have like the very basics of it down so that you can master it. So let me know if you guys recreate it. Let me know. I hope you like this video. Thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe. See ya.